Hey TCS TV viewers, it's Dave and Evelyn from the camera store, and today we're talking about the Nikon full-frame mirrorless lineup.
That's right. Today we're going to talk about 4 of Nikon Z series system cameras, from the Z5 all the way up to the Nikon Z9.
Over the years, Nikon has really built up their Z series of cameras, and there's a lot to choose from the entry-level Z5 all the way to the Nikon Z9. But how do you go about choosing what's the right camera for you?
We're going to get into image quality, some of the different feature sets and benefits that you get when you go up throughout the lineup. We're starting off with the Nikon Z5, and this is the entry point to the full-frame mirrorless lineup for Nikon. However, it's not really an entry-level camera. You're still getting a lot of bang for your buck. And so if you want to save hundreds of dollars and still get into a full-frame mirrorless camera from Nikon, this is the one for you. First of all, we have a 24 megapixel full-frame sensor that has in-body image stabilization. So that means that you can handhold your shots, you're going to get lots of details, and you can work with more suspect shutter speeds that Dave always talks about and still be able to shoot those handheld. The other nice thing is that you're getting a high-quality electronic viewfinder, you're getting the great Nikon ergonomics that everybody loves with their mirrorless full-frame system, and I also love that you have the weather sealing, you can charge and power the camera through USB-C, you get dual card slots, you get a lot of features. And so this is not only an entry-level camera at all, really. It's more of just an entry point to get you into full-frame photography. There are a few things though that if you upgrade to the other models that Dave's going to talk about that you're missing out on this camera. Not major things depending on what you're shooting. So the biggest one is that the processor is not as fast. And so you get a few limitations. One of them is you can only shoot at 4.5 frames per second with autofocus and auto exposure. And so if you're someone that's shooting a lot of fast action, sports, wildlife that are in motion like birds and things like that, it might not be the right choice for you. But if you're shooting everyday stuff, lifestyle, kids, families, anything like that, then this is absolutely an awesome choice. You also have some video features with some limitations as well, so you can still get 4K video, again with that beautiful image stabilization. You can shoot in either 24p or 30p, so you're not getting that slow motion 4K, but if you want slow motion, you can do it. You just have to downgrade into a 1080p resolution.
As Evelyn mentioned, the Z5 is a great introductory camera into the Z lineup. Now the Z62 and the Z72 step you up into that next level. Now the Z62 has a 24 megapixel sensor, but it's a backside illuminated sensor, giving us improved performance over the Z5. Now if you want even more resolution, you can go to the Z72, and that's going to give you 45 megapixels. Now all of these things are much faster, and processing is much more efficient because we have dual processors on both of these cameras, which gives us not just better performance as far as the resolution and processing the files go, but also in frames per second. So if you want to shoot sports in action, this is a much better option than the Z5. We can achieve up to 14 frames per second with the Z6, and the higher resolution Z7 will give us 10. And at 10 or 14 frames per second, depending on the camera you're using, we have a much bigger buffer because of those dual processors feeding into the dual card slots. Now, the dual card slots on the Z5 are both SD cards, and we have the upgraded dual card slots on the Z62 and the Z72. One of the slots is SD cards, the other one is a CF Express Type B card, and these are extremely fast memory cards, so you have no trouble at all with feeding information to them. Now, along with all that speed, it really helps on the video side of things as well. They're both able to do 4K 60, all internal. And if you want even more than that, you can hook up a recorder and do Apple ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW. Now, the Z62 and the Z72 are both a big upgrade over the Nikon Z5. However, there is one more big gun to talk about, and that's what Evelyn's going to talk about next.
Dave's a little jealous because I get to talk about the Nikon Z9, and we've put out a lot of great content on this camera. We've really put it through its paces, and so if you want to check out some more stuff to go more in depth, check out those videos for sure. But the thing with the Z9 is this is Nikon's all-out attack on state-of-the-art technology. Dave's gonna kill me for stealing his line, but it's true. I mean, it's the camera that has the 45 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, but this camera can shoot up to 30 frames per second, or you can even shoot up to 120 frames per second if you're gonna shoot and reduce JPEGs down to 11 megapixels. But it is amped up with even faster processing power. This is giving you incredible autofocus. It has more algorithms built into the camera to track things like sports, motorsports, This camera really is the full deal for Nikon full frame mirrorless. And it's actually one of the lower price point top end full frame mirrorless cameras right now on the market, but you're getting a ton of camera for that price point. Have a good electronic viewfinder, excellent ergonomics, weather sealing, it's durable, you're getting a bigger battery. And on the video side of things too, you're getting that incredible autofocus. You're also being able to shoot in 8K footage, and you're really getting the best of both worlds for photography as well as video. And so if you're someone that wants to have just the absolute powerhouse camera, you gotta check out the Nikon Z9.
Evelyn, I am jealous you got to talk about the Z9. It is a fantastic camera from Nikon and a very important camera from Nikon.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's their best camera that they've ever launched to date. And they're so aggressive with their price point that it makes such a great flagship camera accessible to a wider range of people. And speaking of that, I mean, their entire lineup that we've talked about today, they're a great series of cameras. I mean, even the Nikon Z5, I hate almost calling it an entry-level camera or even the entry point to the full frame lineup, because you're still getting a lot of great camera features for your price point.
Yeah, and you really need to figure out what kind of photography you're into. If you're a portrait or landscape photographer, 1 frame a second is all you need. So the Z5 more than makes up for that. But there's people out there who are chomping at the bit to find a 30 frame per second camera, and we have a Z9 option for that.
Absolutely. And of course, all of these cameras, you know, they have their own unique features. And so if you want to hear more about these features, go more in depth, you can check out some of our other content. We've published full reviews and previews on all of them. So definitely check those out. But of course, we want to know, what do you guys think? Which is the top on your wish list? Let us know in the comments below.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram.
And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so we can catch you again very soon. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to check out more content, then click up here. And if you're Canadian and you want to shop local, make sure you shop thecamerastore.com by clicking down here.